Hello everyone, welcome back to 𝐶𝐞 TV. Sage here and you are watching the Executive Corner Expert Talks, and today we have Mr. Joel Robbie, the co-founder and CEO of NoD. Are you an accountant? Is your desk a sea of paper? Well, today's guest is going to talk about making life easier for the financial advisors and accountants, streamlining the way they receive advice documents so they have more time to focus on what matters most, their clients' financial objectives. And we bring you the industry leaders, successful business owners, all under the one roof to help you discover the insights of the stock markets and technological developments. So today, broadcasting live to you is Mr. Joel Robbie, CEO of NoD. Welcome, Joel. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Hi, Sage. How are you going? Thank you for having me.
Lovely to have you here. And removing barriers in the aim to foster more human connection sounds very fascinating. So I'm sure the viewers would love to hear more.
Yeah, sorry, you go.
I was just going to start the discussion off. NoD is an artificial intelligence platform that produces statement of advice documents in real time for financial advisors and accountants, utilising intuitive automation technology. So that sounds amazing. What is your sole idea behind NoD?
Yeah, I think the problem that we saw when we were speaking to financial planners and accountants was just the sheer amount of manual data entry, manual content creation to get their processes done. And we had a really clear view that the fundamental challenge that was holding these businesses back was that the underlying technology they were using wasn't connecting the data in their business at all. So you would have staff in these businesses, and you still do, that are doing manual data entry to collect data and information about a client, and then they'll go across to a file note and rekey that same information again. Then they'll go to an advice document, rekey that same information again, and write some content to articulate their advice. And then once all that's done and the client's signed off on the advice, they'll go down into an implementation form for purchasing a financial product, and they'll rekey all that same information again. So our business is really about taking away that underlying technology that holds people back from automating all of that work, and providing them with a new platform, which is NoD, that automates that work and fundamentally transforms the way these businesses operate. Removes manual data entry, removes manual content creation, and creates massive efficiencies.
Fantastic. Really sounds like you're making life easier for the financial advisors and the accountants out there. What are the different services you offer to provide a smarter and better way for professionals? Could you elaborate on what you've already discussed?
For sure, yeah. So we've evolved, from just being a document automation platform to now what we are is a connected task space. And a connected task space basically says, here are all the tasks in your business that you do. It might be finding out data about a client. It might be producing advice documents. It might be implementing that advice, compliance reporting. But here's all the steps in that process, and how do we connect the data between those tasks? And so our platform allows businesses to automatically send a form to their client to collect data, to automate the production of advice documents, automatically implement that advice through the automation of that data entry into forms, and then report on the compliance of that entire process. That's what we're delivering to customers.
Well, if you're giving the businesses the ability to stay on top of the regulations and their compliance side of things, that would also be a huge help, I could imagine. So through your platform, how can one eliminate errors and manage compliance? Perfect segue into the next question.
Yeah, I think the main thing is having connections between different tasks. So, if I need to have the same piece of data in my file note as in my advice document, then NoD allows people to actually connect those two pieces of data together, so that there's not a human being who's got to go, okay, I've got this product name in my file note, I need to put this product name in my advice document and do that manually, which is where the errors happen, right? It's wherever we get a human involved, wherever we're copying and pasting or manually rekeying data. That's where it's a long day. We're tired. We're under a lot of pressure. That's where errors can happen. And so our platform automates those connections and makes it just 10 times more efficient. But also because we actually have removed Microsoft Word and then those other word processes from the advice process, and we're capturing all that data in our own editor that we've built bespoke and from scratch, we're actually able to report on what's happening in these tasks a lot more easily. So where you can report automatically on what's in advice documents, we can report on what data is finding its way along these processes, we can report on what people change, and we can also alert where there might have been errors in that process. So that's how we automate that is by fundamentally changing the underlying technology.
Wow, this sounds amazing. So technology is helping you to decrease the risk of human error and making the process more streamlined and just a lot more efficient, from what you're saying is what I'm gathering. Would you like to talk about your current clientele at all?
Yeah, so I mean, we've cut our teeth in the financial planning space and the accounting space. So most of our customers are from that world. We've got some really great use cases now in financial planning where customers have been able to save hundreds of thousands of dollars in outsourced paraplanning fees. We've got examples where customers have been able to reduce their advice process times by up to 90% in some cases. Some really amazing customer stories. But financial planning isn't where we're going to ultimately solely live. We've got customers in the legal space. We've got customers and a growing segment of just enterprise sales teams that are using our platform to automate their sales process as well. So we're broadening the types of businesses that we can work with and are having some success there. So the growth story for us has been really positive.
Fantastic. And I've worked in financial industry companies as well, such as banks, and I know what a big deal a small error can be. And it sounds like you're mainly focused on the financial industry at the moment. Were there any other industries for automation technology to exist in?
Oh, absolutely. I think if you look at all the businesses around Australia, there's just so much paper, and if not paper, then certainly files changing hands to run processes. So, I was an enterprise salesperson in a previous life, and we used to, go to a client meeting and then produce a proposal, in Microsoft Word, and then we'd, wait for 4 weeks for legal to come back with a sales contract for that customer, and then we'd wait another 4 weeks for someone to fill out a product implementation form, and that was our sales process. So even in sales, there's really big opportunities to, again, automate the data entry between those tasks, automate the content creation between those tasks, and create efficiencies. So we see massive opportunity in all the professional services, so financial planning, engineering, legal services, accounting. We had an architect sign up for our platform the other day. We had an interior designer sign up for our platform the other day. So that's the kind of professional services world that we're definitely having a big impact in. But equally, I see a really big opportunity in enterprise sales teams as well to automate their sales process.
Absolutely. With the market becoming more competitive, it's so important to have the high level degree of customer experience. So how do services offered by NoD ensure optimum profits and growth to businesses?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a fairly simple calculation on this one. If I can move my processes faster, if I can get either advice or a contract back to customers faster, then I'm going to close that deal faster, I'm going to get paid faster, and I'm going to be a more profitable business. So NoD allows people to get more done with fewer resources and faster than they would otherwise do. So we're reducing costs, improving cash flow and profitability. That's how we're impacting businesses today.
Fantastic. So making technology our friend in the aim to be more efficient and cheaper for the customers and for the businesses. So Joel, thanks so much for joining us today. We actually have to wind things up now. Was there any final insights you'd like to share to our esteemed audience here at 𝐊𝐚𝐥𝐤𝐢𝐧𝐞?
No, look, thanks for having me. We're really excited about the opportunity to help more businesses in Australia to automate their processes. So more than happy to speak to anyone who would like to get in touch with us. They can find us at noddocs.com.
Great. Thanks so much for your time today, Joel. And if you've just joined us, we just had a very interesting discussion with Mr. Joel Robbie, the CEO of NoD. And the full recorded interview will be available from the YouTube channel, 𝐾ALKINE Media, in the next couple of days. Please stay tuned for more of the live market updates coming to you. And as we say, stay apprised and invest wise with 𝐾ALKINE.